Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I am your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏. He has been off for a while because he was traveling. He's back now, and let's welcome 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏. Kartik ji, Namaskar. Har Har Mahadev. How are you?
Namaste, Har Har Mahadev, and I hope you all are doing fine.
Thank you so much, Kartik ji, and we really missed you. I think a couple of episodes we missed because you were traveling. So welcome back. Kartik, this is a very important phase that India is going through now. This is a new year that just started. It's a Vedic new year. But the concerns that are coming out is like what is happening in Bengal. And we should start calling them Bengal because there is no East Bengal anymore. There's only one Bengal left. We might as well call them Bengal. So Bengal mein Kangal, that's what is really going on, and talk to us a little bit about how the stars are lining up for the future of Bengal.
Shriji, if you remember, around 6 months back, I had said that, listen, based on this transits that are happening, especially, in terms of context of Jupiter's transit also, I talked about two states which are going to be very, very critical in 2025, and that is Bengal and Punjab. These are the two things which I had stated, around 3 months back, and with a clear-cut understanding of even our Vedic New Year, which was about to happen, right? And if I might talk a little bit of the New Year chart which Bharat has, Bharat has got Leo Lagna with both the Lagnesh and the Varesh. Lagnesh is basically Leo is lorded by Sun, and the Varesh, because we have to take it Sunday, are both in the 8th house, which is talking about, and then in the Rashi called as Pisces. So Pisces will always be the Rashi in which the Pralaya happens. That is the concept of Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. And Pisces per se is a state associated with Bengal. And plus adding Jupiter's transit, which is going to happen now in May, and transiting to Gemini, all put together, plus Modiji swearing in chart, and all put together, I had said that, listen, this particular time is such that, whether Modiji likes it, doesn't like it, whether he wants to have a policy of not an era of war or whatever it is, but the fact of the matter is कि पानी सर के ऊपर जाएगा, and whether he likes it, he doesn't like it, India will come up with situations where it will have to take some strong steps. And that is what unfortunately we are seeing that's happening in Bengal. And surprisingly, I was in Mumbai and Varanasi just last month, and after coming back I just tweeted about it that the demographic change is so clearly visible on the streets of Mumbai. And my worry is not people who belong to us, my worry is the illegal aliens. And I have for always said that, when it comes to, any country, there is no bigger problem or there is no bigger task than internal security. And we really need to think about it, because everything else, Sree Iyer ji, you do Jandan, you do, apna accounts kholo, you map them with Aadhaar card, you do this, you create Labhartis. Everything is of no use if the internal security is not up to date. Because technically you are feeding the people who are illegal aliens and people who deserve to be kicked out. So rather than kicking them out, we are feeding them. And then we are claiming that as a great task that we have achieved, rather than actually looking really inwards and thinking that we need to do that. And this year's Chaitra Shukla Pratipada chart of Bharat says that, this will scream up. And this had also come up in Devendra Fadnavis's swearing in chart. If you remember, even at that time, I had said that the 4th house is having a Papakatri, and the problems will start in terms of where you cannot hide this problem anymore. You cannot hide it around your social media handles who are calling master stroke for everything. This problem will come out in the open, and fortunately or unfortunately, it is there for Modiji to deal with, Amit Shah ji to deal with, and I hope that they take the right decisions.
Thank you so much. And see, the hand of ISI in West Bengal is becoming more and more clear. I should say Bengal. And see, this is like, they don't have the gravitas or chops to manage their own internal security inside Pakistan, and they are trying to do some mischief here on this other side. How long will this go? Because India has already shut off the gates for Bangladesh for some things. They cannot export anymore on land. Land-based access has been completely cut off. And they are going from disaster to another disaster. Like, for example, the tariff rates with the US, that's going to completely cripple what little is left of their garment industry. So when is it that these people are going to say, finally, okay, it was a mistake on our part? Or will they never accept that, but they'll just keep on going after the hapless Hindus in Bangladesh?
Sree Iyerji, the frank answer is that they will not understand, because we are dealing with not with people but with a mindset. And it's high time we address the problem in the way it has to be addressed. It is a mindset that which we are dealing, and it is a mindset which hates us. So till what time will you put flowery words around it, or no, it is wo koi bhatke hue naujawan hai? In fact, I would tell you very openly that I had great reservation about the way even Waqf bill was being debated. You can call a Waqf bill debate, ki listen, we have done good for, the Muslim women, unko abhi ye mil jayega, unko wo mil jayega, they will be put into this trust, now they will get the correct rights. Whereas my problem was that, hey, listen, call out for the bill for the wrong it is. It is against every other people. It is against the basic ethos of Bharat, and it is a draconian law for everybody else, and call it for as it is. Rather than trying to sort of say, this is good for pasmandas, or this is good for this people, that people. Again, that whole policy of sabka vishwas. And then that is my basic problem, that, listen, if you have this mindset, then frankly speaking, we are staring at a partition of Bharat. And believe me, from 1947, it is not that Bharat has not lost land. We have lost land to China. So let us not be under illusion that, I know some hyper guys will come up on the comment section and say, Arey Kaartik ji, aap kya bol rahe ho? Hum to Sanatani hai, ye hai, wo hai. Boss, you look at Bharat's map, the original map, and see that we have become shrunk. Now, if you want to just be as a sector 4 wala Bharat and sector number 11, khali utna hi bachega, where we are just part of one gully, then we can stay with this mindset. But if you don't want to do that and look at Bharat's chart, where it has got Rahu in Lagna, and yet not understand, in spite of people telling you again and again and again, and yet not being able to get out of the mentality, कि भाई, this is not an era of war, हम तो बुद्ध का देश है, हम तो युद्ध का देश नहीं है, then why are we having such a huge army? I'm very clear that, listen, there is a thin line between being peaceful and looking harmless. What Bharat is looking is harmless. I'm sorry to use that word. But somebody who is constantly hammering you, somebody who is constantly hurting you, to send them consignments of rice, to sort of not take any cognizance of what they are doing, and keep requesting them, frankly speaking, I'm losing patience. And if I'm losing patience, who has been a top advocate of people at the top, then you can understand what's the basic thing in the thing. And why am I losing patience is not because of, my mood is not right, or I did not get my morning tea. Because I can see in the charts. And I've been talking about it. And things are panning out like that. And yet there are people who just don't want to take decisions, and their indecisions will be termed as master strokes. And unfortunately, I am not having patience to sort of retweet those things and say, because I see that there is a problem. You remember, Shriji, even with Modiji swearing in chart, I had said that, listen, this is a Scorpio Lagna with Lagnesh in the 6th house and Lagnesh in the 11th house. These are the houses of Danda and Hara. I had used the specific words. And whether Modiji likes it or doesn't like it, the situations will be such that he will be squeezed out and he will have to take action. Now, my only worry is that, listen, there is an action which has to be taken as a last option. And then there has to be an action which can show you as a strong nation by taking proactive action. And that is going to define whether we want to be called as an harmless nation or a peaceful nation. We can still use our strength and yet be peaceful. But by not using the strength and always having war as a last option, by keeping the gun out of the table, frankly speaking, we are going against the basic rules of Bhuloka. Bhuloka is ruled by Mangal. Mangal rules army. And you cannot say that this is not an era of war. The irony, you understand, Shriji, I would like to take this opportunity to say, the irony is that he told that in front of Putin. And the reports were that Putin has invited him on the 9th of May for the victory parade. So he is showing, boss, this is a yuga of war. You have to use army. 𝗦𝗏𝗏. And countries who are not going to understand that and be woke about it, कि भाई हम युद्ध का देश नहीं है, हम बुद्ध का देश है, and all those things, boss, this is what Bharat has become because of that mentality. We need a Chhatrapati Shivaji, we don't need a Gandhi. And the swearing in chart, the Tithi Pravesh, everything is showing, कि boss, wake up and smell the coffee and address the situation in the way it should be addressed. Bring out bills in the way it should be addressed. And talk it out the way it should be talked out. It is high time Bharat talks the language of a UAE or any other country, which is seeing internal threat, and it is talking about that, hey, listen, every UAE minister says that Muslim Brotherhood is terrorism, and they have no qualms about it. Okay, who is going to feel bad about it or what is going to be the repercussion? No, my country is above everything. So when we say कि स्वयं के ऊपर दल, दल के ऊपर देश, let's show it in the action. There is no point just talking about it. Let's walk the talk. And then that's what the chart is saying.
Thank you so much, Kartik ji. So let's talk about some of the solutions here. One thing that India can do is what Yogi has been doing in Uttar Pradesh, which is to crack down hard whenever you see anything that is wrong. For example, let's say if a masjid was used in Murshidabad to source the weaponry or to give inflammatory speech. See, what they have done is they have sent out 12 to 16-year-old boys to go and threaten 25 to 40-year-old women, sleep with us, otherwise, or convert. Otherwise, the reason they chose 12 to 16 is because these are not people that can be tried under law. So, and first of all, what the F does the guy who's 12 years old, abhi uske, let's not go there. What does he know about sex? Who is teaching them all these things? And is this what we want your country to be? So whatever the thing is, what are the ways out? So you can control to some extent, like for example, we are going to give viewers, we are going to give you an update on what is happening in Sambhal, whether the temple of Kalki is going to come back in its full splendor. That will be a separate episode. But here in this particular case in West Bengal, you have a hostile state government. Sir ji, kya kiya jaye? What do we do?
Absolutely. See, this is what when people were asking me on Twitter, Kartik ji, have patience, see, we got Delhi and Haryana also. I told that really you're telling me that, for Bengal, you want a 20-year strategy? 20 साल की आपको strategy चाहिए. 20 साल में भैया forget about Hindus, यार बीजेपी का कोई वोटर ही नहीं बचेगा.
Yeah.
So I was very clear, and when people are saying ke yaar, listen, ye Bombay judgment, ye wo, I always say ke bhai, at least show the spine, at least show your voters, people who are there, ke you have an ability to act. Maybe I'm saying for the argument's sake, chalo, I'm not a lawyer and I don't understand law. For argument's sake, whatever other people are saying ke based on Bombay judgment, maybe it will be struck down by Supreme Court. Chalo, I agree. I'm not even arguing that. Though there is a strong argument and counter argument also. But at least when center does something, at least your voter and people there at least feel ke yaar kuch kar to rahe ho, rather than your whole social media team also retweeting what is happening over there. How can you look so politically napunsak and then expect the same people will vote for you in the next election? एक तो उसमें से कितने जिंदा बचेंगे. Secondly, whoever is alive, there will be man-to-man marking. I know what happens over there.
Oh, it's already there. It's already in place. Unless unless they revise the voter rolls and strike off names of those people who are coming in from Bangladesh to vote and go back, some like that, the others are who have taken root in India. These people have to be disenfranchised. Let's not talk about pushing them out of the country. At least deny them the vote.
Absolutely, because these are the people. See, I've got students and obviously many clients in Bengal, and they say, Kartik ji, during election times, before 3 days, there are people below our building. They are watching us very closely if they are going for a voting or no, and if we are going for a voting, we know what will happen to us. And based on our past life experiences, where there was great this 𝗥𝗙𝗪𝗧𝗍 Varghya and Babul Supriyo and all, who closed their mobile phones and said that, Bhaiya, humko itne phone aa rahe, what do? We don't know. If I go out, even my car will be trashed. Such were the leaders, great leaders that BJP had given. So what trust do the people have to कि भाई उनकी जान जोखम पे डाल के, and technically, in reality, सर पे कफन बांध के, these are the people who are going to come and vote for you. Because again, it's going to happen same thing where they are going to have stories कि भाई होली 3 दिन की होती है, हम तो 3 दिन तक खून बहाएंगे, and you will have nothing to do, and you will do nothing. And again, retweet. The same social media team, the same social media head रहेगा, and the same guys will keep retweeting it कि देखो क्या हो रहा है, देखो क्या हो रहा है, and what the hell are you guys doing? And if you guys can't do anything, then please, छोड़ दो उनको, मतलब बोल दो यार कि भैया तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. But I'm raising a higher problem. This is there. Bengal is again a sleeping giant. Punjab. This has come out in the open. Come, let Jupiter transit, and then you will see that the bigger problem is also going to arise from Punjab. And if you are not going to deal with this as with an iron fist, and I'm again saying that at least accept the problem in the language in which it is, like Yogi ji is saying. कि भाई ये लातों के भूत है और इन शांति दूतों को आपको लातों की भाषा ही समझेगी. What more clear can Chief Minister say? He must be crying inside. कि I wish I was there. मतलब मैं इनको ठिकाने लगा देता. But he is not there. और वो जो बोलते हैं उनको 2 लीटर पानी डाल के he says बटोगे तो कटोगे. What is happening now? कट ही रहे हैं ना. आपने उसमें 2 लीटर पानी डाल के एक है तो सेफ है कर दिया. I raised that objection even at that time. कि again you are not playing on the front foot. Why do you have to be such a woke party? Or insecure party? Whichever way. Because what Bharat is going through is exactly what Yogi ji is saying. But you guys don't want to address it because वो अरे इससे ये बोलने से इसको बुरा लग जाएगा, वो इनकी ठेस पहुंचेगी, this हो जाएगा, that हो जाएगा. Listen, Bharat does not have that much time. Bharat has got Rahu in Lagna. And if you feel that every other country can split and Bharat cannot split, then frankly speaking, we are under a huge illusion. Because there are strong forces and a weak leadership which are enough. That combination is enough to actually bring Bharat a very, very bad state of affairs.
Thank you so much. So let's take a look at the second topic, which is Trump's tariff war. What I'm hearing is that yesterday, China completely stopped shipping everything. Every port completely stopped. Nothing going out. And they have prepared some, emergency plans and things like that. And those who have seen those plans are actually horrified. They think that this will take China to a point where they can never even come back if they try to do even some of these things. So rhetoric, people are not thinking through. Sane heads are not prevailing inside China on what to do. Tell us a little bit. See, what has happened is Trump has announced these tariffs and then there was pushback. Then he has reduced some, like for example, day-to-day stuff, iPhones, laptops and things like that. Cyclical items we buy every 2 years now. It's habituated. Your iPhone magically stops charging after 2-3 years of use. It doesn't even charge. It doesn't hold the charge. So it's like then gently nudging you, go get your next iPhone, pay another $2,000. So this has become the regular thing now. And how do you see that tariff war shaping up?
See, couple of things, both let's talk about US as well as China's New Year chart. And both are in a way quite risky. Okay. Now, if you remember, related to Trump's swearing in chart, I had said that this is an 𝗟𝗡𝗏, right? It was a very, that particular line I have not used in my 20 plus years of consulting career. I only use for this time, and you see how it's panned out. It's literally
Panama,
looking like,
Greenland, Gaza.
yeah, and it's literally looking like the way he also took
Yeah,
the CNN reporter, was
yeah.
it today or yesterday? I don't know.
Caitlin
But
Collins, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so he's going all out. Matlab ki boss, you stop me, it's my way or highway. This is my way to make America great again. Yes, I might go wrong, but I'm not scared of failures. But that doesn't stop me from trying. And I'm going to try in a way a superpower is supposed to try, and I'm going to put my foot down strongly like the only superpower. So frankly speaking, the way it's panned out, it's a fight between whether you share the throne or America saying that no, excuse me, there is only one superpower, and it is in a way defined in the 𝗤𝗙𝗎 Pravesh for both the countries, and it is going to be quite a year for both the countries. Now, first time after about 3-4 years, where America's 𝗤𝗙𝗎 Pravesh, the Vedic New Year chart, where the Lagnesh is in 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. The last time it happened, it withdrew from Afghanistan, and that was the year when Biden sort of looked very weak. He used to fall down from the flight and so on and so forth. So I would, though it is in 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, but Jupiter is quite strong. So that is the saving respect. But what I mean to say is Donald Trump and his team also needs to be little careful in terms of they don't fight in all 8 directions, and they choose their battles. And choosing the battle with China could be a good battle to choose. Why am I saying that? Because China is having a pathetic year this year, especially in terms of seventh house. Seventh house rules love and war, or rather finances. So they are going to have a very, very bad year financially, Shriji. And more importantly, there is only one respite or one planet in the Kendra which is Mars, which means that, to sort of disguise that or to in a way shift that problem, they might end up in a conflict with Taiwan. And that is something, which might be a front which they might look forward to, because financially they are really going to go through a lot. And especially now with what I see, the way they are going with TikTok, and they are exposing, okay, this Louis Vuitton bag, okay, we used to manufacture, we'll make it for $1,000. That is in a way completely what Trump would, that would completely hurt Trump. Because that's not how you deal with Trump. If at all you want to deal with Trump, yes, if you want to fight with him, then this is a clear invitation, and that is going to make the battle very, very bad. The only thing that I would suggest or request to Trump's team is that don't go all out with every country. Pick your sort of 2 or 3 places where you really want to make your footprint, and then work on that.
Thank you so much. What do you make of Singapore? See, many people say that, well, Singapore is an independent country. It's not. It's 90%, I think 85% or something like that Chinese. And these are all people who are not belonging to Singapore. They came from China. Every time there was a purge, every time there was a dynastic change, anything happened, they fled. The rich of China fled from there. They settled in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Philippines, in Indonesia. You go country after country in all these places. The Chinese expats are the ones who are actually running the businesses in all these countries. So be that as it may, where do you think Singapore stands today? I know this was not something that we discussed before, but your experiences, because UAE and Singapore are like, yin yang, both sides,
Yeah, in a way competing, because all the so-called millionaires are now shuffling either between Dubai or UAE and Singapore. So, and UAE for that matter is giving not only tough competition. In fact, we are way ahead as far as Singapore is concerned. But again, from a Jyotish perspective, I haven't looked at the chart. Maybe next time, definitely we can talk about it. But from a geopolitical sense, and I've got a lot of clients over there, students over there. From that perspective, I can say what you are saying is absolutely correct. Because even top bankers and whom I know, they always tell me that there is a clear Chinese influence, and there is a certain amount of racism against Indians over there. Because net there is a lot of Chinese influence, etc. So Singapore more or less goes the way China goes. So that is the common thought process which is there as per me as well.
Yeah, so my editor Sachinji tells me that the composition of Singapore as of 2023 is as follows. Chinese are about 74.3%, Malay are 13.5%, Indians are 9%, and others are 3.2%. And the worrisome thing here, worrisome because I would like Singapore to import people of all ethnicities from India. What is worrisome is one minority is finding more and more employment in Singapore. This is something, it's in Singapore's hands. And I don't have to tell you which religion that is. Did you know about this, Kartik ji?
No. It is news to me, actually.
Take any flight from Chennai to Singapore and see who's sitting in the airplane.
Okay.
75% of one community.
Okay, interesting.
This is concerning because nobody wants to open their mouth and tell what really is going on. We can see it with our own eyes. 3 in 4. See, what has happened is since about 30 years or 20 years, Singapore has been quietly getting people from India to do some of the brown collar jobs, chauffeur, restaurateur, working in the restaurants, or all the manual jobs that for that the Singapore population is not wanting to do. These are being taken up. Where were they getting people from? India, Bangladesh. So and they don't get from Pakistan. At least at that time they did not. Maybe that has also changed now. So what is happening is, if you by the way, Singapore's police system sucks. No other word to say it. People may be shocked. Singaporeans may not like it if I tell you this, because I've had some personal experiences in Singapore. It is just as good as India. So don't try to put your collar up and say Singapore is better than everybody else. No, sorry. You have to go through it to understand how bad things are. So be that as it, that's okay. People are great, very hardworking, industrious, creative, and they know how to, stay afloat and be the most prosperous country or region in that region, be the most prosperous country in that region. Be that as it may, why do you think they are trying to do this? I'm making a daring statement today because I've seen this thing happen. Why is this happening, Kartik ji? Why are they importing so many Muslims into Singapore?
No, it could be another sleeper cell which is coming up, so let me not mince my words. So this really needs to be probed into. I'm sure our Yashasvi Pradhan Mantri knows about it, and hopefully there would be some action. But specifically picking up only a certain demography, I don't know, if they are specially talented, then I don't know. But definitely this raises eyebrow, because even I didn't know. This is the first time that I'm hearing. And this is clear thing. If there is a huge Chinese presence, and then they are, allowing only a certain demography to come there, then there is something brewing up. And
Kartik ji, I'll just, before we go to questions, I'll just tell you two things that I've observed. December 6, 1992, what happened? Babri Masjid came down. There are some industries in Tamil Nadu that only one community takes up. And this community also is one of the worst polluters, because they are taking up leather related stuff. Let's just say, okay, leather, you need to use chromium metal, which is very, very toxic. And they don't know how to handle it, or they don't want to handle it. What happens is they just let the chromium effluents flow into the river nearby, and the river gets polluted. After that, you can't, even fish can't survive. It's that bad. Yeah. So now I'm asking, see, what happens is, whatever little non-Muslims were there in that industry, everybody got systematically cut out of the industry. Anybody who was dealing in that industry who is not a Muslim is out. They made sure economically they got rid of everybody else. Viewers, go and check what I'm trying to tell you. Leather industry, who's there in India? How many people lost their livelihood? They were genuine experts. They couldn't get in after that. Now, my fear is that maybe Singapore is getting from a consulting group, and this consulting group is the one that kind of sets up all these things, right? Remember Dubai, that used to be the 70s, when they had all this money and they were growing. Everything, Bombay agency used to send only Muslims over there until Kuwait happened. Then there was some realignment, right? I don't know whether Singapore is going to face its own realignment or not. I'm just giving you a word of caution. Everybody should go. It's not one track. I'm also hearing some other things like this in another minority in the IT sector. When they get into HR, they make sure others don't get in. This is something that you need to look at, viewers.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is there.
So, just observations. I'm not going to hold anything back. I've got a very few years left to be productive and telling you the truth. Take it any way you want. You have your whole lifetime to repent later, especially the youth of India. Viewers, if you are grandparents and parents, please show these videos to your sons and daughters. They need to understand. We are not here trying to, float up somebody or put down somebody. We're telling you the truth as it is. Kaartik ji, I get this sticker shock, like the way you said, when we go to India, how drastically things have changed for the worse. Some things are better, but a lot of other things, very, very scary, sir.
No, if you're a Mumbaiite, just go to Juhu Beach. There was a time when, I've spent 28 years of my life. I've done my engineering, everything in Mumbai. And you look at Juhu Beach, nobody else can go here. So you look at the malls, how they get flooded, and again, I'm talking about a very, very genuine problem that, my problem is about the illegal aliens. I told you offline also that one of my friend, he took his Bangladeshi maid to Mumbai, and she said that, listen, I need 2 days off, and you should not ask me where I'm going. I'll go, but definitely come because my family is here. She went for 2 days, stayed with them, spent time with them, and came back after 2 days. So these are all people who are now very legally citizens of India. So Bharat has got real problem to deal with it. And you really need huge reforms. And you need reforms at a level of judiciary also. Because every after 10 years of time, Modiji and 𝗤𝗎𝗄𝗏 is going to bring one bill, and that bill also is going to be stuck in the Supreme Court. So somewhere down the line, I don't know if Supreme Court is going to tell even the president what to do, that in 3 months' time you have to do this, right? Whereas their own cases are pending for decades, if not centuries. So frankly speaking, I don't know. With this Jupiter coming into Gemini, I feel that judiciary conflict and somebody has to bell the cat, because see, I was telling the other day in one other place, Shree, see, in olden days, we used to say that well played Gavaskar. Now, what did Gavaskar do? Whole day he played and made only 36 runs. In today's time,
talking about 1975 World Cup debacle.
Yeah, in today's time, if a player is going to play whole day and people are not going to clap, ke bhai, well left, usko to gali padegi, he will be trolled and he will be told to step down. We don't want such 36 runs, spoiling full day. We need a Virendra Sehwag who is going to score a 300 individually, and the team score will be at 450, 500 in just one day, and you are in a position to win the test match. So the dynamics have changed. Nowadays, people don't want to wait 10, 15 years for one good thing. And based on that one good decision, you want to win another 3 elections. Because the backlog is huge. See, my problem, like you, Sanjay ji, at least I have got little more life left, hopefully. But I'm also speaking out, and I'm speaking out from much difficult dynamics. You understand what I mean to say? Yet I'm saying that because I believe what my grandfather told me, kuch kha ke gaye, kuch pee ke gaye, insan wo jo kuch kar ke gaye. So I want to speak up. I have all the things. So you know me for some time now. By God's grace, I have got everything. My consultations, bookings are full for 3 years. So I can pretty well play safe. मैं बोलूंगा यार मेरे को क्या फर्क पड़ता है, my work is done, I'm making money, I'll travel business class, first class, जिसको मरना है मरे. But I will not be able to face Mahadev when I meet him. Because he's going to ask me, Kaartik, you are the blood of Somnath. How come you didn't speak out? You didn't worry about the swords of even the invaders. So why did you need to speak out? So I'm speaking out. I can go back to Mahadev even if I'm sort of bumped off. At least I'll go with a happy face. At least I was not among those people who tried for his Rajya Sabha seat or an award or a land from some government to start my Gurukuls or start with other things. At least I'll be happy that I'm not among them.
Kaartik ji, we all know, I think that the richest Rajputs in the world are actually Muslims practicing religion inside the four corners of their house, where they come and seek out astrological advice from you what to do, but outside they are exhorting all their mobs to go after the Hindus. This is the reality of your life, viewers. I'm of course mentioning about our esteemed neighbor Pakistan. Thank you, Kartik ji. We have a lot of questions for you. Maybe we can go through them now, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Manoj wants to know, we are missing a person like Balasaheb badly. He showed a strong will for the welfare of Hindus. What is the future of Yogi? Your views?
In fact, nice that you are using the name of Balasaheb, the tiger and the real tiger. And I've said this, I don't know whether in PGurus I've said this, but in 2023 in December, I was in Ayodhya. And, BJP, very, very high, I wouldn't name him obviously, but let's say BJP Vice President, he asked me, Kartik ji, what after Modiji? And he was expecting me to say some other name. And I, without a, backlit, I said that Yogi ji after Modiji. So he said, "Kya baat kar rahe ho, yaar? How come this?" And I said that, Modi ji, and he said that probably Yogi ji might not be there after this election. And I said that, listen, I would say the same thing what Balasaheb had told to Advani ji and Vajpayee ji, agar Modi gaya, Gujarat gaya. And I would say the same thing to you guys, Yogi gaya, UP gaya. And not just for one term, aapko 50 saal tak wapas milega nahi, Akhilesh se. So it is good that you are talking, but for me, as I'm saying, I was probably amongst the few, or probably if not the first one, who started saying openly that after Modi ji, the guy who should be at the helm of affairs is Yogi ji. And may I say very openly, because there are a lot of people again saying that Yogi ji is required in UP and he at least needs to be there for 3 terms in UP to make it thing. And let me tell that very, very openly, that to save a branch office, you don't let go of head office.
Yeah.
Also, importantly, we need to get out of that mindset that, we need a prime minister at an age of 65. No, we need Yogi ji when he's young, when he has this Agni. We don't need a Yogi ji at 70. कि भाई मतलब वो सब कुछ उनका अग्नि चला गया, when he is a spent force and finally Yogi ji को हमने डाल दिया. No, we need a young guy who is unapologetic, non-woke, and calls a spade and in the language in which they understand. And we need a Yogi ji then at the helm of affairs. And that's why I've been praying, requesting, urging, whatever you say to the BJP guys, RSS guys, that please, get some sense, get in Yogi ji.
Next question, please. Mangat Rangaji wants to know, Namaste. Bengal trouble has links with Bangladesh and probably deep state too. So it is important to understand the future of Bangladesh too. As per your analysis, will deep state end and when?
Deep state never ends. Deep state never ends and it will never end. But with respect to Bangladesh, I had given a famous prediction a year back that from February 2026 to a date in 2030, that is the time Bangladesh is going to split. And then Bangladesh will probably split before Pakistan. So, and it has got all the symptoms, it has got all the recipes. Our army is at ready, steady. It is just that Modi ji needs to say go, and it is a very, very a job which will be done. Whether it implodes internally, externally, that is the game that is there on the chessboard that India has to play. But frankly speaking, after Feb 2020, and at that point of time, I had said that, listen, Shukra is completely demolished in this whole concept based on Bangladesh chart. And Shukra rules textiles. At that time, I had given that thing also, that the textiles are completely going to go for a toss, and that's going to cause sort of a completely jihadi elements coming on the street. And whole analysis I had given, and I had given the specific dates post Feb 2026. And post May 2026, may I say, Modi ji is also going to be, whether forced or whatever you call it, but he will play completely onto front foot. My only request
He'll
is
have no choice. He'll have no choice. Sorry.
Exactly. That is what is my request. Ke bhaiya, don't do it when it is too little, too late. मतलब कुछ बचा नहीं, तब जाके आप मतलब वहाँ पे मतलब अपने रफाइल घुमाओगे तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है, So that's my only request.
Next question, please. Nitya Kalyani wants to know, when will troubles in TN caused by DMK Stalin, when will it end?
I will do a detailed analysis on that, because a lot of people have been talking about it.
Let's take up that as the next topic if possible,
100%,
2 weeks from now.
because
Yeah.
I want to talk about Annamalai in detail also, and I have his chart. So we will talk about it, and we'll cover this as a detailed thing, because that's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. Govinda Guru wants to know, please throw some light on Puri Jagannath Eagle flag incident and what does it mean?
It means troubles. I've been trying to avoid saying this. A lot of people have tagged me on this. It is in a way correlate with what I have been talking about, Jupiter's transit to Gemini. We are looking at a dharma yuddha, and that 1 year period, you will see globally, it is going to be a situation of us versus them. And then it is not just a religious divide in terms of Hindu versus Muslims or Muslims versus Christians or anything like that. It's also going to be the caste divide, which is going to be very bad, especially vis-a-vis think in terms of Bihar election. As it is, Bihar election is very caste driven, but it's going to reach a new low and a very, very situation where probably a lot of amendments and other things will be brought. So we are looking at that situation, and technically in one line, we are looking at Garuda, saying that, the dharma has to be established, and there has to be a new way of looking at it.
Thank you so much. Next one, please. Aditya Raghunathan wants to know, do you have any view on MK Stalin continuing as a CM of TN? We'll do all these things in the next episode when we do that thing, because it's not just isolated, right? There's a lot of things going on for different things. So thank you for the question. Sunita Rao wants to know, Kartik ji, your predictions have always been proved true, as you have hinted of the 𝗔𝗍𝗪 Yagna. Which is the country that will stop the horse and fight United States?
First and foremost, not all predictions go right. I'm not Vedavyasa, so please let me be grounded. I'm trying my best. Like all students, we are all students at the end of the day, right? So I don't want to have that ahankara of saying that 100% predictions are right, or I'm an avatar of Vedavyasa. No, I'm a very normal person. But thank you for that good words. Now, 𝗔𝗍𝗪 Yagna, it is China. China is going to see, because as I told you, it is a fight for sharing the throne. What China is negotiating on the back door, or what they would negotiate in the back door, is that, hey, let us share the throne. But here, he's a Leo Lagna, Trump. And I had said that long back, for a Leo Lagna, never sit in front of him. I'd said that to a politician long back, vis-a-vis another politician, and he next day called me, Kartik ji, what a lovely thing you told me. मैं थोड़ा side में बैठा, and this time he was much more receptive to me. And I told him, that is the rule of Raj Jyotishi. Never sit in front of a Leo Lagna person, because he will pounce on you. So what China is doing is, China is applying. Obviously, they must have done their negotiation, but Trump per nature is a very, very personalized person. If he doesn't like you, or if you have tried to harm him, he's going to hunt you down. And he has not forgotten what happened during COVID, and at how the Chinese agencies have sort of helped Biden to win election. And he has got known hawks around him, and they are all anti-China. So he will go for China. If that means कि भाई, if I have to तुम्हारी 2 आंख खराब करनी है, और उसके बदले में if I have to lose one eye, I will lose my one eye. But I will ensure that you lose both the eyes. So in that tariff war, China is definitely coming out, right? And don't think that this isolated events, like suddenly all the luxury brands coming up and what's happening on TikTok and all, is not with the patronage of China. It is coming up as in a very, very structured way, and it is going to go from bad to worse. But who is it going to net hit? It is net going to hit China, because frankly speaking, nobody trusts China. Not that people trust America, but what I mean to say, China is the last partner that anybody wants. And this is where India needs to be very careful, because obviously they will try to be pally now with India, because that's how Chinese are. But I hope that we are smart enough to understand that this is our opportunity, and we can realign things. And there are a lot of JDs, and there are a lot of technology ventures, a lot of manufacturing, a lot of other things that can happen in Bharat, in the next 10-15 years. But at the end of the day, all said and done, all is under the garb of national security first.
Thank you so much. Viewers, today we did not get notifications, but yet we have a healthy audience. It would really help if you like this video. I should have said this thing a little bit earlier, but I was just trying to see how is it going to go, and it actually turned out quite all right, although your like will take it to the next level. Thank you so much. Last question, I think there may be more. Kota Murthy wants to know, Kartik ji, it's not so easy to implement anything in a democracy. Unlike communist autocratic regimes, take the case of South, no control over governments.
I agree, and that's why I've always been an advocate of there should be controlled democracy. When there is absolute democracy and when everybody wants to teach how to pick up a bat to Virat Kohli or how to leave the ball on the offside to even a Sachin Tendulkar, then and they feel that bhai, spitting on the road. Like I was in Varanasi. Let me give you a simple example. I was in Varanasi and people just spit on the roads and constantly honking. And if you tell them, they don't like it. They feel it's their democratic right to pee on the road or to spit on the road. So ये democracy को हम जिस level पे or the level at which we take, frankly speaking, I've always been an advocate that there should be a controlled democracy, and that's why I have been propagating for one nation, one election. Problem is every 2 months, 3 months, 6 months there is a state election or a panchayat election or some election. So any government who wants to pick up a law, the other state government will say, the other karyakartas will say, nahi sir, let this election go, uske baat kar lo. And in that, the whole country actually goes for a toss. So I'm a huge advocate of, get it done once here. And then at least the government has got 5 years to at least implement a strong measure. And they know that there is no election coming in a month's time, 6 months' time. So they have the results to prove that in 5 years' time, they'll say that, listen, guys, yes, we were harsh in not allowing you to spit on the road, but now see the roads of Varanasi. Don't you like this? Please vote us back. They will have that confidence, yaar. Varna to it is impossible to get it done.
Thank you so much, Kartik ji, and it was a wonderful session. Viewers will be back again with Kartik ji 2 weeks from now, most likely to talk about Annamalai, Tamil Nadu, and the future of the Dravida Party ecosystem. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you so much. Namah Shivaya.